I got open to stream.
All right, so our very professional stream has begun. I have luckily kept everyone muted so that I can get our intro out of the way. Last we left off back in session 22, where we are now in session 23. Tragedy struck the group. The group meeting up with Lucian's old girlfriend and crew, and half of the party deciding to hang out on land for the night, pick up a cabin, make themselves a little comfortable, have one more night on land before some sort of voyage into the sea for reasons that weren't perfectly clear to everyone as of yet. Ravi and Lucian made it on board the ship to then split the party again so that the not that horny bard could maybe, who knows what happens in a dark cabin below decks with a buff angel child. Buff Asimar. Oh, no touch by an angel jokes. We can't be doing that. That's not good. Lucian was met with a former best friend who turned out to be illusory cover of an arch enemy, and a major battle in the captain's cabin, through a window, in the water. Old themes of getting attacked by a giant shark from like session 2, before making it back on deck, only to ultimately have her ex-girlfriend not back her up in this battle. And even though there were some emotional breaks in her momentarily, ultimately Lucian fell to their enemy. And we will be picking up in the morning preceding that, with no one really the wiser as to exactly what occurred. Ravi awakens well cuddled in a proper bed on a boat, gently swaying in the ocean. A merely shirtless buff Asimar next to him, awakening as well, being like, "Oh, you're doing well."
Yeah. I'm not. Morning's bad.
I don't think we're leaving till the evening if you wanted to touch land one more time.
Seems like a good idea. I never really had sea legs.
A week in the water isn't great for those who are not acclimated as of yet.
Alright.
Come.
I'll get up, grab the things that probably are a little bit around the room.
Spread out in various locations. Hey, where's my up here? It's like, oh,
My
there it is.
boots, yeah.
Where are my boots? It's like, well, one's here and the other's. Oh, there it is. Um, Gearing up and heading out onto the deck. Uh, there's a uh, there's some of the crew which you would recognize from passing by everybody, and there's the rather rotund um, Logan Moonfang, the Whiteford Tabaxi, who is visibly frustrated and like is just having a bad morning, and but is like preparing ropes and checking sails, getting things
My
ready.
passive insight is a 14,
Yeah.
so
Um,
not great.
right. It doesn't seem overly unusual, the situation. Um, the captain in particular, uh, the very large tiefling woman with a big axe at her side.
I'll look around to see if Lucian is up yet.
You don't see her anywhere. But
I'll go to the captain.
captain walks up to you to meet you as you come out from below deck.
Morning.
Oh yeah, fucking Rabby, was it?
Yeah, yeah, that was me. Have you seen Lucian yet this morning?
Oh yeah. Don't you worry. She actually wanted me to tell you something that she wanted to kind of go this arc alone, and having
Oh,
too many of you hanging out. It sounds like you don't really have sea legs, as it sounds. As you visibly kind of like.
I do.
Ooh.
Can I?
Well, it's a bit of a family matter. And you kind of look down and catch a jeweled ring that you remember Lucian buying and on her finger.
Aww.
That she's kind of like semi-casually trying to keep relatively covered with her other hand, but she's not doing a great job of it. He's like, look, I don't really want you and the rest of your crew around. We'll be back in 2 weeks with a flying ship, and we can take you inland to wherever you want to go.
Um, yeah, I'm just looking for something. Sorry. So you'll be back in a week?
2 weeks. It's gonna be a week
2
there,
weeks.
week back.
Okay. Sure. We'll make sure to be here when you get back then, I guess. Just,
Alright.
I guess give Lucy my regards and good luck. Family matters are messy.
She kind of like itches her nose and then like kind of like looks and sees the ring and puts her hand down. Yeah, it's complicated.
You're a lucky woman.
Jacob will take you to shore, and then she just like walks away from you.
Yep. Oh, I like go to Robbie for a second is like he doesn't know what to do. Like, is he supposed to shake the captain's hand or like salute or something? Good day.
An
And
older, like grizzled,
walks over to Logan.
like she's a Jacob, and it's like an older grizzled kind of pirate guy. He's just like, in the boat, we'll take you to shore.
Thank you. And I'll go down.
And almost like cattles you over to the side. A couple of crew help the rowboat lower to the water, and he starts rowing. You get about halfway, and this older pirate guy is just like, "So you got a friend on the boat then?"
Yeah, so it seems so. I think she's well, her direction of her affection, I guess. I mean, I noticed the ring. She probably must have given it to her last night.
Hey,
Been pretty personal. Um, I guess they wanted to do it to learn. And I can understand.
It makes sense for the captain. She's a one-on-one type. Don't usually see multiple in their cabin. Anything amiss with your group or the world, or anything anyone on the sea should know?
Sorry?
I'm new to that crew, so if you'd spotted anything in your time on the boat that was suspicious, I'd appreciate a heads up.
Did I notice anything suspicious?
Not particularly.
No, not really.
Good to know. You'd tell an old pirate, wouldn't you?
I'm sure I would.
Kind of like steals a gaze at you as kind of sizing you up in this conversation. He's like, "Aye then." Keeps rowing you back to the till you get to the port. You see about a half a dozen sailors of various types, all like really groggy-eyed and like frustrated, and just like waiting at the dock in various states. One guy just pure like splayed out on the grass. Gets kind of, you hear him get kind of kicked and goes, "Boat's here." He's like, "Fuck you." He's like, "Sure thing, man."
Understandable.
They all kind of give you like a shitty look as you're like showing up and getting off the boat. And they go
like, gentlemen?
they go to get on the rowboat, and they go, "Fucking leave is supposed to be a couple of days, or at least a day and a half, not one night. Waking up the goddamn crack of dawn. God's forsaken boat." And the older one's like, "Aye, get in your boat, get under your crew. I got supplies to grab on shore, and I'll be joining you later." And they're like, "Hey, join us for the boat." Like, "Don't you worry about it. You young sea lads, get on out of here." And they just pile.
That seems weird to me, though.
You can get an insight check.
Cool. Oh, 23.
Ooh. Yeah, some of that does seem weird to you. Like, you very distinctly remember them pulling a bunch of supplies on board yesterday in crates and barrels and all sorts of things. Like, they should be well supplied for their week journey. Maybe 2 weeks. So it's, and if they needed more supplies, it wouldn't send like a guy. It'd send, a crew. And there isn't a boat for him to get back. Like, there's several things don't add up. In this interaction. You see one of the guys who's getting in the boat like look a little confused, but also not give a shit. And just like whatever. He gets in the boat and starts rowing.
I take a closer look at him? Do I notice anything?
Make an investigation check.
Cool. $15.
15. Nothing in particular. You eye him up and down. And,
do I recognize this guy?
Incredibly non-distinct random guy. He's kind of like gets the rest of them in the boat and then looks at you and goes, "Well, farewell then. You and your people move on with your days."
Thank you.
And starts to walk generally towards the actual town.
I'd like to tail him for a little bit.
Sure. Make a stealth check.
Things he was saying didn't add up super well, so I want to I want to keep an eye on him. God, that is unfortunate. 16.
16. You're keeping your distance and following, and then at one point, as you're passing by some of the cabins and small storefronts that are popped up in the
I'm trying more
area.
to like blend in than like.
It's not a
sneak.
huge crowd at the moment, but you're tailing him, and at one point you see him just like take like a hard right behind a house. And you kind of do the thing where you don't run up, but you kind of wait a second, catch up, and check around the corner, and then he's just gone.
Peek. Now that is even more suspicious.
And it's extra suspicious because it's not like the main city where there's a bunch of buildings right next to each other. It literally like,
Hmm.
walks like arm's length next to a house, takes a hard right to go behind the house, and then he's just gone when you catch up. And it's 50 yards to the next like house, so it's not like
Yeah,
he's even sprinted to the next one is behind it or something.
I'll make a mental note of what that guy looks like,
Gotcha.
and then I'll head over to the tavern.
Okay. Make a perception check for me.
Or to the cabin
Right.
that Charlie and Sonari were staying at.
Yeah. Make a perception check.
Okay. 5. No. It's like 2 higher than that. 7.
7. Yeah, that's not very good. You do make your way back over to the cabin where Sonari and Charlie are at. Sonari, Charlie, you two were able to awaken in the morning, a fairly, secure little cabin building and get breakfast going and all that, which is about the time you hear like a knock at the door and can see Ravi through the little window in the front.
Yeah, come in. Morning.
Morning. It smells nice in here. Um, they didn't feed me on the ship or anything, so
Well,
is that extra?
Uh, is there extra?
For breakfast.
It's breakfast. Yeah, there's plenty of the.
Yeah, there's plenty.
While eating breakfast, I will tell the others. Lucian, as you can see, she's not with me. She decided to go after her parents by herself. Well, not by herself, but with her crew.
Is she coming back or?
Yeah, they'll be back in a couple weeks if everything goes well. They said,
Honestly, I'm not surprised.
I know. Family matters are messy business.
After yesterday, I kind of figured maybe that. Yeah, no, whatever. Okay, cool.
Oh, no, I'm just shitty to her.
Oh yeah, no, that's not what I meant.
I understand why. Family matters are messy business, and she didn't want to include us.
Didn't want to say goodbye.
I
Yeah, that's kind of rude.
know. I also
We
noticed
came
that.
off of a rocky
you remember
patch.
that-
Just be like,
Charlie, do you remember that ring that she got back in Stettin?
No.
Well, she got a ring back in Stettin that
Okay.
I saw on her partner's fingers.
Oh,
So
good for her.
perhaps I mean perhaps
Honeymoon.
has something to do with that.
maybe she's not coming back.
Well,
Well,
I mean that's a
not fully
possibility,
not,
I guess. They are pirates.
right?
But she did say that, not Lucian, the other one, that if everything goes well, they'll be back in 2 weeks and with a flying ship that they can take us anywhere inland that we need to go.
Oh,
So,
No seasickness.
yeah,
Wait, we don't have to go on the boat.
yeah.
no. Yeah, so if we stick around here for a
Thank
couple
you,
weeks.
Moonweaver.
I
This
didn't-
is her looking out for me after I let her out. Thank Thank you, Moonweaver, for getting rid of Lucian. So we don't have to go on that boat.
she's coming back, but
Yeah. Anywhere inland, so we can just hop on the boat straight up.
yes, I assume they're just going to be coming back later. So I guess we have a couple weeks just,
Kill?
yeah, a couple weeks to kill.
I found this flyer when I came in here. It has a bunch of stuff on it if you want to check them out, maybe.
Huh?
Yeah, I forgot what's on the flyer. I just knew it was interesting.
There's magic items and stuff.
There's
Wow.
a regularly updated magic item supply list for a store in town that has magic items in their inventory, and it seems like someone rather obsessive compulsive comes through and updates the list by hand. And there's also something of like an anarchist cookbook of like adventurer adventurer tips and tricks and hacks and things. Yeah, there's all sorts of little notes on things you can use animal parts for, which monstrosities have parts of them that work well for enchantment. Dragon bone is brought up a few times for being carved into weaponry and easily enchanted. There was one like article, I guess that seemed a little suspicious, where someone detailed out the process of making a fine magic sword out of thin sliced wood that's been carefully sanded down and trimmed to be essentially paper thin except the hilt, and then once it's enchanted, apparently will be solid and functional as a blade, and yet can be of massive size, wielded in one hand. The pictures, which aren't very well drawn, depict like a super great sword being held in like one hand by a halfling. And
Sort of anime bullshit.
Interesting.
You gotta look at it, you're like,
I wanna
that
make
seems
that.
unlikely.
I'm gonna play an artificer just to do that.
I want to try and make that.
Right?
That's just
No,
cloud.
can I see that flyer?
Yeah.
The one that you said
Slide
had
it.
all the magic items on it.
Yeah. I'll just slide it over across the table.
Like, take a look, see if there's anything interesting.
A few things you notice that stand out. There is a magic breastplate for about 1,000 gold pieces, made of adamantine. Details underneath it detail out an enchantment made in causing devastating blows to not have such an effect. And it runs up to the most expensive thing on the list is a crystal ball of scrying for 50,000 gold pieces. And the least expensive thing on there, just under the healing potions, are clothes of mending, which detail out clothing that self-repairs and keeps itself clean.
Very useful.
Axe wounds stitch themselves together before even healing can be administered.
Well, I'd like to go check it out if we have the. I mean, we have the time, I guess.
The flyer is for
absolutely.
Agatha's artifacts. There is a knock at the door as you all are hanging out.
I go.
Ravi, there's not much of a check on this. A very completely differently dressed and slightly differently trimmed beard older man, that is the exact person who rowed you back to shore, is at the door with like a fresh supply of like milk and eggs, and at the door you're like, I've got your morning breakfast and eggs, and there's I got a couple of pieces of fruit and bread for your stay. Your animals have been warehoused with some livestock just to the north of this little settlement. A good little spot. You can go check them out whenever you like. I have keys for their release to you. And he's kind of like waiting at the door as Ravi's looking perplexed.
Give me my key, and I'm gonna take the key, and I'm gonna run to go see my dog.
You go open the door. Keys handed. The dog, yes, here you are. And then these are for the horses.
I'm gonna close the door in his face.
Put some on. He has to reach in. He reached inside to like put the keys on little hooks just inside the door.
Yeah, okay. Thanks, man.
Right. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
They're just walking away.
I'm gonna go out the back door.
It's not.
Bobby like turns around like confused.
Right.
I
put
don't
two
like
and two
dealing with
together.
people in the morning.
What's up, Robbie?
No, I guess that guy had a brother that sticks around. Sure.
Yeah?
Is that what?
What guy?
Is that?
Like a twin brother, maybe.
Same.
Am I suspicious? Yeah.
Are you suspicious? I
Like-
think you're suspicious.
Okay. Something about that guy. I saw someone who looked nearly exactly like him earlier. And and he kind of disappeared down an alleyway. Anyways, I'm gonna go follow him. Uh, and like I try and tail this guy now.
Charlie
I
paused at
want to
the
go
back door.
too.
What was that from Sonari?
I want to go too.
We just split the party again.
We did.
God
we did.
damn it!
I mean,
It
it
was
was
split
for
the
a
party.
second
You're the one who
happened.
decided just to run.
You idiots!
Charlie.
Charlie leaves out the back. Sonari and Rowdy
What?
go,
That guy.
What
That
do you
guy.
want?
Can you follow him?
What about him?
You're better at following
Yeah?
people than me. He seemed suspicious earlier. Can you follow him for me?
Can you go play with my dog?
Sure.
Okay, here, and I'll give you the glass rod that can't break.
Oh,
Play fetch with him.
Oh.
that's adorable.
Okay. And the key, I assume.
likely, yeah.
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 Okay. Ravi starts heading north by himself. Charlie and Sonari are now tailing this attendant, who you two met yesterday, as he checked
we
out
did
the
meet.
cabin
Okay,
to you.
Oh.
You kind of keep your distance. You're both stealthy enough to just tail an old man doing deliveries. He has a small hand cart that he can just pull on his own, with baskets in it that seem to have similar contents to the rest of you. Makes a couple of stops at cabins that are occupied by people. Seems to just say similar pleasantries to what he had for you. And the next hour or two, there's you're watching him. He gets a tool out of a side shed from what looks like the cabin he lives in, and you watch him go around different properties just trimming out weeds. And you're about 2
Sorry.
hours into this, and
Sorry.
Yeah.
This is fucking boring.
Yeah, I kind of think that
Why
Robbie was
are we
fucking with
trailing
us.
this guy?
I a little bit think Robbie was fucking with us.
That's my dog, not his. If he wants to play with him, he can just tell me.
Gotta make it.
Well, we're doing this. We might as well finish.
Charlie and Sonari make investigation checks for me.
Oh, it's cocked.
Shit is what that is. 9 total.
17.
Nice.
Nice. The two of you are kind of keeping your distance to not be too suspicious. And you do at one point see someone who's doesn't seem like a resident in any of these buildings, walk up to the old man. This is a very generic but stout male elf. Walks up and has trade some words with him. You're not close enough to make out what they're saying, but you see the elven man hand over a small pouch, and
Can I get close enough?
make a stealth check.
That is modified 20.
Nice. You get at the tail end of the conversation, as they've been going back and forth, the attendant just seems bewildered, a little confused. And then you come at the tail end, and it's just old man, please stop asking questions. And he's just like, hey, I don't like being told that. It's I just, look. Again, if someone asks about seeing you on a ship, say you've given up the pirate life and are working here now. Why would I do that? It's because I gave you coin. I'm paying you. We've been through this 3 times now. He's just alright, fine, I guess. But what if I know them and be like, what do I just tell people that have known me for a decade working here, and I'm just recently stopped being on pirate ships. It doesn't make any sense. It's it doesn't need to make sense. Please. Do you want the coin or not? It's fine, yeah. If someone asks me that very strange, very specific question, I will tell them that I'm a ghost. And he's Close enough. Just like turns and walks away.
And we'll go.
It goes back to pulling up some like stray turnips in the kale bed, and it's just like, these aren't even supposed to be planted yet. Goddamn seedlings. It starts ripping out random vegetables. Nobody seems to have noticed you, Charlie, as this other cloaked individual moves, is making moves back to the main town.
I'll go back up to Snar and be like, you keep following boring guy. I'm gonna follow this new guy.
Ah, god damn it. Okay.
You're splitting it even further?
God damn it, we're
Okay,
all
Should
bye.
always split the party, and then with the split party,
And then split it
that
again.
party,
Let's
and
see what
that
happens.
is when nothing bad happens.
It's a great idea.
It's been
We might as well just start playing a new campaign now.
It's been technically more than a week since something terrible happened from that idea.
Well,
Oh, in real life,
we don't
yes.
know.
It's true.
Like 12 hours
entire
yeah,
session
in game.
has been screaming at you all.
We don't even know if something bad has happened at all. We're just chilling. We're just like, alright, cool town.
I'm
right?
just imagining Lucian's ghost just being like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
It's like it's the Raven Queen's first mission for you, and you're just waiting for Charlie to die to like, escort them across.
No.
They're just standing
Oh,
behind them with
no.
a scythe.
It's just standing there like,
No, it's
okay.
the weird. It's the weird dude on the beach that told me it's not your time yet.
Right.
And
This
like
is my job now,
session
watching
2.
over this dumbass.
So Charlie, you tail this guy. You already made your stealth check. It's not a big deal. Is taking the main road back to the main town. It's it's gonna be a good like 3-hour walk, before you make it over to the main town, and they are heading that direction. You watch as he pops into Abatha's artifacts, where you were actually planning to go, and seems to just through the window kind of keeping an eye. It just seems to grab some general goods, backpack, provisions, traveler kit kind of things. Comes out with basically like a backpack of adventuring gear and a sack and full of some kind of stuff, and starts making his way through town.
I'm gonna turn into like just a really boring looking human,
Very, very short.
and then
very
I'll just keep
boring.
following him. Yeah.
Nice. Making Simone Biles look like Abraham Lincoln. It's just this short, boring adult human.
Me.
Yeah. All right. Too meta.
No one argued.
I don't.
I did the argue look.
Right.
I did the what do you mean look.
Right. Tailing him, it looks like he's just getting stuff you would need to leave town. Sonari, you've been following this guy gardening for the early afternoon. Nothing is happening.
I want to say after like another hour of just gardening, I will leave and find Ravi.
Gotcha. Heading northward to where there is a large kind of open air, like there's a barn and then like a fenced off area where there are sectioned off areas of different types of animals that all have tags like clipped onto them, and there's you do see Ravi hanging out and playing with Charlie's dog.
Have you been doing this for the last couple hours?
Not or it's not that long.
Or-
Hasn't been that long, has it?
Well, I've been following. Charlie and I were following that guy you told us to tail. He's just a gardener. Charlie left me to tail someone that talked to him. I don't know what went down, but apparently that was suspicious.
Sorry.
Yeah, well, he gardened.
Well, I saw him earlier. He was on Lucian's ship.
Did he
He
have
took
two
me
jobs?
back to the land, and then I guess went to gardening. He said he was getting supplies though. Very strange.
Yeah. I mean, I guess he just lied to you. I don't fucking know why.
I mean, you know Lucian's catchphrase. I'm a pirate,
though.
right?
Okay, that's compulsive liar, maybe. Yeah, I mean,
Possible.
we can just wait for
I
Charlie to come
guess.
back. I don't know, something happened
Sorry.
there.
Sorry about that.
You thought it was supposed
I want to try to steal something.
Of
God
course you
bless.
do. While you're like 3 hours
I
from
want to
us.
just like bump into him and be like, "Oh, sorry," and then just like as I bump into him, like do a little swipe, see if I can find like any papers or anything.
Into who? Into the guy you're tailing, or?
to... Okay.
The dude that I'm tailing.
Okay. Make a perception check for me, real quick.
It's like really old
Oh,
hunched
boy.
over man is what I'm thinking.
Natural 20.
Hey.
You didn't see these on your way out of town as you were being kind of hurried out yesterday to make your way to the outskirts of town with the adventuring crew and pirates and everything. But you are spotting the telltale signs of thieves' cant markers in the city. You are spotting them. Well, the only thing that's odd to you is you are not seeing, you're not seeing carvings of like permanent marks. You're seeing ink that's been placed in spots. These are quick dashes of things that are meant to get attention of people that are in. You know that it's the kind of ink that'll last maybe a week, and it's meant to like recruit people for a specific job, and then.
Oh, look at that later. I want to get something from this guy.
All right. As you go and like do the whole like bump and grab, try a sleight of hand check.
22.
22 is pretty good. Indeed. You do the bump and the pull, and you are looking for like papers or something that you can grab. You get your hands on what's like a whole ass book, and kind of get it out of like a what you didn't even perceive. It's almost like your hand just moved instinctively, but you grabbed like a inside pocket kind of thing and found this whole book there and just got it and stuffed it into your thing and did the whole like, and it's just like, and you just like, and just like moved on. It appears to be walking away, none the wiser. You kind of.
Cool. I'll turn into my little tiefling girl, and then I'll follow behind again, trailing him, but also looking at this book.
You're going to be looking at the book while trailing him.
I mean, you can do both.
I
Can
think he
you
was
guys
more
not
meaning
walk
like
while
holding the
reading?
book that you just stole from him,
Right.
like in your hands
Oh.
while you follow him.
Right.
I'll look at it like really quick, and then I'll keep
So
following
you
him.
pop into he like stops. He stops outside a little bakery, and is grabbing some like some rolls and provisions and things for the road. And you kind of pop into an alley as he's making his transaction and flip through this book. Make an Arcana check.
Okay. 13.
You don't know much, but you know what a wizard's spell book looks like, and this is that. The glyphs and writings and things are not like a master thieves code or anything. They are the scrawlings of a wizard who has copied and derived their own spells into a book.
Do I recognize the writing?
I would say you make a general intelligence check.
Oh boy, we're great at those.
It's been a while since
Okay.
you've seen any of this. It's recognizing handwriting offhand of someone you once saw several months ago.
Intelligence?
Yeah.
18.
That's pretty good.
I love this dice.
It seems familiar. Just in that you've seen it before. You still piecing it together of an exact identity. It isn't making sense. It is striking you that it's in about half of it is in Orcish, and so your first thought is like, I need to get this back to Sonari and like have her take a look at it.
No, that's not my first thought. I'm gonna keep following him.
Well, yeah, but that is what occurs.
Because I know that Ingram's in town.
Yeah, you do know Ingram's in town. This is true. Go ahead and make an insight check
I'm gonna
as
keep
you're
following him.
trailing this person.
Fine. 13.
13. I mean, it's you have a slight suspicion, but this just seems to be some elf that maybe a wizard. You're not sure. They're grabbing supplies and provisions. They do seem to be wearing armor, so it's sort of like, okay, well, they're not, maybe not a wizard.
I'm gonna go and poke him to see if it's real. I'll just be like,
Little girl
tiefling
runs up.
girl, and go, boop, hi, and then
Uh,
walk away.
Make an investigation check.
Oh, that's cocked.
What?
That was cocked.
I'm not touching it. Do you want to see my other roll?
Sure.
I did not move my hands. I just.
You
It's
get,
another
I mean, you can take a picture and post to chat
I'll,
if you want.
I'll take a photo.
And then just tell us.
I will do that. I will do that. Everyone saw my hands. Didn't move. Yeah, the photo. I got another natural 20.
Hey yo.
Tell me your secrets.
Oh my.
I'm not cheating. It was. I promise.
So you tuck this book behind you, somewhere, in like a fold of clothing or something, with your own illusion, being projected. And you know what a disguised self looks like. You're in one right now. And you do the telltale, hey, mister, and they do the shove, and there's sort of a look down of this elf who looks at you, and there's a half-orc woman standing there, like pretty burly for working in a bakery, and is like holding a basket of like some kind of dough, and it just looks down at you and goes, and grabs one from the basket and like hands it directly to you, and I just go, it's buttery, leave me alone. But you do notice that it's a straight illusion as you made contact. The outer frame is not matching what physically lies beneath.
Cool. I'm gonna follow him outside.
You got
Waiting
you got so much
Any
love
cards
so
nearby?
far. What could go wrong now? You know.
You notice
Are there any guards nearby?
You notice a thieves cant marker on this bakery. It's a marked for a job marking, so it's one of those like, don't do thievery here. Someone has marked this place for a job already.
Wait. Yeah, okay. We go back outside.
Nice.
It's a very important question.
Yes.
Are there any guards around?
Oh yeah, there's one or two that
Okay. We go back outside. I'm gonna like start like kind of skipping right in front of him and then stop, so he like kind of bumps into me.
Oh my god.
The guard?
No, the man.
No,
Oh.
no, the man.
The man isn't following you.
No, I was gonna
Hey.
like, I'm kind of watching him out of the corner of my eye, and I'm gonna make sure I'm in front of him.
What are you attempting to have happen?
Bump.
I want him to bump into me, and I'm gonna yell at the top of my lungs, "Stranger danger! He touched me!"
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
I don't know how you're going to pull this off. It's going to be several checks.
I'm okay with that.
So
Don't fuck me.
this might get this dice banned if this goes well. So
Yeah, if this, I'll take video of my dice. How about that?
the dice can still be illegitimate on its own if it's an unbalanced dice. It doesn't matter if it's actually rolling the result
That's
you
fair.
want every time.
I had to remove several of my dice this week.
So stealth check.
I don't know. It's giving me okay. Stealth check.
Yeah.
15. That was a 5.
15. What you're getting yourself into position as this man's getting like the last of his provisions set up in his sack, and as he starts to turn to move away from the bakery and like move on, and you're getting set up to pull this thing off, a guard is like right next to you, and it's just like, why are you tailing this man?
Uh-oh.
I'm not. Was getting food and now I'm going home.
Make a deception check with disadvantage. He was
Oh, no.
actively observing you for the last minute or so.
Deception.
Yeah.
21. I rolled a
Come on.
16 and a 19.
Oh my.
I don't even have my normal Charlie dice here tonight.
Right.
That was the
Walk
trick.
out
That's what you
into the
needed to do.
Right.
Why?
I don't have my notebook. I don't have my dice, and I'm fucking killing it.
This guard looks down at you for a sec and is just like, you live in the city.
We just moved here.
Oh, well, your parents shouldn't be having you wander around. I mean, it's a nice city, but still. Homeward, child, please.
It's this way. I'm going.
All right. You see that you don't
Bye.
really have your opportunity at the moment, but you leave the guard, and the guard's just like kind of confused by the interaction. But you do get away a little bit. Sonari and Ravi,
Yes.
how long are you playing with a dog before you're like, all right, maybe we should do something?
Not long.
We didn't really make a plan for like,
What we're doing after.
yeah,
the
how to get back together,
Right.
which we should really start doing.
We should.
Of like where to meet after.
Back at the cabin, probably.
Or else-
that's
I mean,
fine.
probably when Sonari shows up, Robbie's like, and she's like, hey, it's been like 3 hours. He's like, oh, I got hyper fixated on this dog.
Gotta play fetch.
Yep.
I've done it too, bro.
Yep. I probably give the dog a couple last pets.
Right.
And then I assume Sonari and I go to like the bar. To
The
like,
bar, or I think Sonari had mentioned something about hitting that item shop.
Oh, the items.
Oh,
If you just want
I-
to check them out real quick.
Joel.
Why not?
I guess while we wait for Charlie.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
We head to the
Yeah, so you guys
was
head-
it
so-
Agatha's Antiques or something?
Agatha's Artifacts.
Artifacts. There it is.
Charlie, you notice a few. You get away from the guard, and you notice a few more thieves' camp markers of like the sort of like safe house markers of like where to go to like meet up and get jobs and fence items and things like that. So somewhere nearby there is a little safe house. But Charlie, you have lost immediate track of the individual you were trailing.
Oh, 1 second. I'm gonna leave and then come back because I cannot
Yeah, you're frozen.
Yep.
hear
You froze 3 times.
anything.
All right. Well, as people jump around. Oh, jeez. All right. Sonari and Ravi make it to this item shop rather quickly. Just in the like walk to town, essentially. It's actually near that exit and entrance into town because that's where people sailing by would first come in at. Ah.
So it's at the entrance to the proper town, or to like the
Proper town. Yeah,
coastal
you got to
town?
do that like
Okay.
3-hour march
Okay.
basically over into town, but it is right there just past the entrance. Looks like a couple of guards are always stationed nearby. Seems like a good place to keep your magic item shop if you're gonna have one.
Yeah.
Cool, cool.
Let's see if my other
If
screen is a less
Charlie
obvious.
is nearby, do we notice their tiefling form?
Charlie is not nearby at the moment. All right,
We back.
Charlie.
Uh-oh, they're frozen.
Yeah, frozen again. We'll give the system a second to boot up.
Oh, big sad.
20's in the chat. All right. Well, so Sonari and Ravi. Hey. Phone technology.
Hello.
Ah.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. Can it
Oh.
turn?
You have your
Maybe you
rotation
have to
lock
turn
on?
It seems like it
rotation.
doesn't want to.
Turn on rotation, actually.
Turn! There
you
you
go.
It's voice activated.
Yell at everything and it works. Or kick it.
Yay! Technology works through violence, and everyone should know that. Charlie, you have spotted some markers for a nearby safe house for Thieves Guild members. The kind of place you would go to fence items and get jobs and things like that. So you notice those markings on some of the alleys where you've now lost track of the individual that you were tracking before that you kind of have suspected. You could do a frantic run around that general area of town, but it wouldn't be that stealthy to try to find him.
I'll do that, but I'll change into a halfling with like huge muscles.
Big muscle halfling, like a jogger that does upper body strength work, or
Yeah.
okay, jog out on your like morning early afternoon run.
Like,
Yeah, make an investigation check. See if you can do some zigzags and find where this guy is.
ooh. Investigation?
Indeed.
25. I should I change this dice?
Probably.
I don't want to.
There's nothing. Superman comics aren't that interesting because he always wins.
Unless it's against Batman.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you. I love you.
We'll bring it back for occasional starring roles instead of constant lead character. Lead character, this single D20.
It's okay. This one only rolls 5s.
Hey, also unbalanced. So
Perfectly balanced.
you do that hasty run around thing. You do spot him as he is getting onto a horse, and is getting hands off a small pouch, you assume with coin in it, to someone who's supplied him with a horse, and he's now trying to trot his way out of town.
I mean, if I can't do anything else, I want to get the coin.
But the coin's in the hand
I
of this.
followed this around for forever and only got a book.
That coin is currently in the hand of a random townsfolk, and if you are suspecting that this is Ingram, I don't know that the however many coin are in that pouch is your main concern.
Okay, but I followed him around for forever, and he just left. So I want stupid gold.
All right. You are well spotted as you are been running around like an exercising halfling, and it's sort of like it was just tourists jogging on vacation.
I'll go into an alley and change back into myself and leave. No, I'll change back into the boring man and walk back because there's guild activity.
Do make a one last perception check for me.
I changed my dice. I swear, I can just show you with my phone now. I changed my dice, I swear. It's a different one you
Oh, yeah,
can
that's
see.
Oh, jeez. You're just rolling hot tonight. It happens.
Must be a lady tonight.
Yep.
I am.
Yeah.
It's the universe apologizing for killing Lucian.
Wish I could have those rolls
Right.
about a week ago.
That's fine. You're bully.
Right. So, you're like, and you get minorly frustrated and be like, it's just leaving. There's no way to know if it was him or not. And then you kind of give one last look at him leaving town, and you see as he goes and like seems to like go as he's riding out of town is like checking rechecking gear, and then you see the Pat in the spot where you grab the book and just stop and like pull the horse to a stop and like make a stealth check for me.
Okay. I'm good at those. 21.
Nice. You are pretty confident you've kept yourself hidden, but you see his head whip around and like look in different directions, and then turn the horse around back to the man he had just paid and get off, and is having a conversation with him as just like looks very mad and then starts walking towards that northward exit of town.
I don't know what else to turn into.
A himbo.
I don't think I can do that.
You could turn into like a gnome or something.
Yeah.
Right?
I'll turn into a gnome with a really big nose.
Big nose gnomes.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's you trail this man in his illusion and do see him walking up and get to that north edge of town to leave out as you see Sonari and Ravi coming in.
I have been following this man for hours. Have I seen,
A ship.
like, yeah.
You have not.
Fine.
Okay.
I'll run up to them and be like, it's me. I found this book. And I'll give it to Sonari.
The guy's right there.
Oh, then I'll just, like, hold it out behind my back. And, like, kind of wave that at her a little bit.
There's Ravi and Sonari. You get into town and spot the store that has magic items. It also seems to be a bit of a general goods, odds and ends kind of warehouse thing. Smaller building, but what passes for a warehouse in like a vacation town. And you see a random like elven individual walk up and then kind of like angrily pacing, walking like a hard walk, and then stops and like makes eye contact with the two of you, and just is like,
I do the white person smile.
I don't associate. I try to
Horrified.
Sonari, make an insight check. I'd say with advantage. As this man, kind of gritting teeth, is just like, have you all seen a large tome anywhere nearby?
16 and a 19. It was
Oh,
an
yeah.
investigation or insight?
Insight.
Insight. It's a 19 then.
I have not. Sorry, sir.
Sonari, you do make out Ingram's voice.
Ooh,
under the illusion.
And Ingram asked if I saw a tome.
If you've seen a tome nearby.
And I have not, right?
You have not. Large book,
Oh.
partially leather bound, filled with glyphs and sigils.
meaningful, like kind of like, no, I have not.
Do keep an eye out. I will need to have a look around and have a chat with guards. Appear to be small tiefling pickpockets about.
We will keep an eye out. I look at Scenario. It's like a. Uh-oh.
I'm not going to
we
entertain
know
that.
small tiefling.
God damn it.
Pickpocket.
Small tiefling, you know. And you do see a gnome nearby that's just sort of standing awkwardly off to the side.
Wait, can I tell that is?
We've never seen a gnome.
There's just an awkward gnome next to the magic item shop. And
Socially
then
awkward.
this guy walks over to the
Can I-
guards that are
Can I
stationed
tell
right
who the
nearby.
gnome is?
Not generally, not without, like... They seem to be trying to hint things at you. So you can do an insight check.
23.
3. You don't know who this gnome is. They, like, make an eyes
No,
at
20,
you.
23.
Oh, 23. Okay. Very
Yeah.
different from 3. Yeah, you
Yeah.
piece together this is Charlie, and given the information of the tiefling thing, you're like, oh, I know what happened.
I do like a
Oh. Oh, god
I
damn.
do like a what did you do look, and then followed by like a don't come over here look.
Charlie, do you...
Alright, do you want to go check out the magic item shop?
Yeah, that's what we came here for. And I'll turn to the
I start walking towards
gentleman,
it.
just nod
Yeah,
my
it's
head
right
and
there,
walk
so-
away too.
You all just kind of
Yeah.
walk in. Charlie, where do you go? You follow them into the shop, or...
I was told not to, so I'm
Well, you were
I'm
told
gonna
don't
stop.
come over here, where they're like
Well,
15 feet from these guards and stuff.
you got the eyes of like
okay.
No communication really
motherfucker.
happened here.
The guilt eyes.
I'm just gonna I'll follow them in.
All right. Slinking into this magic item shop, and it is just a packed smorgasbord of bizarre items and objects. There doesn't seem to be an incredible organization system through about half of it. About half of it seems pretty well organized. And no one greets you for a moment as you all like enter the store. You can see the elf outside talking to the guards, who kind of talk to each other. Very shortly, within a few moments, you hear the sound of a whistle, clearly a guard whistle, getting the attention of other guards, and it seems like other guards are approaching to then hash out like a search the city kind of plan.
motherfucker.
And you see Gnome, Charlie, attempting to rework their system. Neat. So Charlie, you are there with the other two. No shop worker or owner has seemed to have popped out yet to greet anyone.
I flip
some cool
without
stuff in the
without
store.
trying to do anything. I try and flip open the bag of holding without calling too much attention to it.
I'm just gonna yeet in the book a little bit.
Yeet. Just a little bit.
Pop this large spell book into the bag of holding, and then closes it.
Yep.
And there is a moment of like, oh boy.
Boy, can you open up a little bit again? Just quick.
I open it up.
I'm gonna swipe something off of the shelf and throw it in there super quick.
You motherfucker.
Make a sleight of hand.
You're trying to get us arrested.
Yeah.
No, I just haven't done this in a while, and there's cool stuff in the shop. Natural 20!
You.
I changed my dice,
After
I
the dice
swear!
change out.
My hands are up, I can take another photo.
It only gets really like suspicious if it's like multiple nights. Everybody gets a hot night every once in a while, but
Yeah.
well,
Ah!
nice.
It's where everyone else's rolls for the rest of the evening are gonna be absolute shit.
Yeah. Yeah, just to balance the universe.
Right.
Or no,
Oh
we're just
my.
ruining another party's D&D night somewhere in the world.
There's
This
a bug.
is fair.
Gotcha, bitch.
Yeah, in someone else's campaign, their monk is dying.
Oh,
I'm still not
Jesus.
over it.
All right. I mean, good times. There's a
Just trying to think of the least magical thing in this shop
no,
for
I'm
you
just
to
trying
steal.
to like, what's something that is like grabbable that's in there?
Ring?
Something that's not in a glass case.
The biggest
preferably.
item in this shop.
No,
Right.
Puts a great sword
Fucking-
into bag.
do not egg Jeff on here.
This is
No,
really
we can
bad.
like Mary Poppins it.
Literally
Except reverse.
Mjolnir.
Put big things in the bag. Just kind of tip them over and.
No.
Captain America's shield.
You you spot this little like harmonica, and
Yes.
it's it is like silver, at least silver plated, with the runes that are carved into it in gold, and you're just like, this looks nice, and you just really nonchalantly, it with probably without even Ravi seeing. Ravi's like still just waiting with the bag open a little bit, like waiting for you to say or do something as you slip this thing in there.
Do it.
That's a little something for you, babe.
Never
And it'll
do that
turn to
again.
Sonari.
No.
I just close the bag.
I'll turn to
Deeply
Sonari and say, "Hey, that dude, I think that might be Ingram."
Who's Ingram?
Who are you?
You see
Yeah.
behind like the next shelf, looking straight at you, is this like elven woman. Kind of like pushes up some glasses. Who's Ingram?
My imaginary friend.
Oh, that's crazy. So you're like insane.
Yeah.
A little.
Wow. Okay. I think I have a potion for that here somewhere. Cool. Do you guys have like coin and stuff?
Yes.
Ah.
That's awesome. Do you want to like? Do you need to see a catalog of like the most useful things? Or are you looking for something random?
What's the?
I mean, kind
do you
of
have anything
both.
for pranks?
Pranks? Oh, I
Could
got
use
pranks.
Pranky things.
Do you like to
Oh,
prank grumpy
no.
people or like random people?
Both.
Okay. Well, I got something for cranky people. Random
Okay.
people pranks.
Hero from beyond the Lucian from beyond the grave. God damn it!
I think I have
This
something.
person's going to get us killed.
Come on up to the counter. Why are you hiding by the?
Okay.
Wait, I was hiding by the shelves by the door. Is something happening outside? I heard the guard whistle.
Guards are running around.
Oh, crazy. All right, come on. She stands up, and she's a good like 6'4" when she like stands
Nice.
up. Rather lithe, but still like kind of.
Would you mind
Solid
giving me a
ground.
description of her again? I don't know if I was not paying attention.
So she's just she's a very thin, very tall elven woman. White hair that she keeps pretty short, with the longer bit just kind of like clipped off to the side. Glasses that don't quite fit right. She has to keep adjusting them, and sort of just a simple scholar's outfit that is stained in a couple places with like looks like strange paint colors, like a neon green, a splash of purple, and and then just etchings of black in random spots. And she kind of pulls up, trips a little bit, getting over to the counter, and there's a slight motion as some like seat cushions just like hover up next to the counter. So not actual stools, but seeming like magically levitating seat cushions. And it's like, sit, sit, sit.
Sonari's in love.
Yay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, pranks. Let's see.
I feel like every time she turns around to like look at like get something to show us, I like look at Charlie and just like, cool it. You are going to get us arrested.
Again.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll just pull all of them on you.
And then I'll stab you.
Okay. Now,
Do
careful
it.
what you touch. A
Huh?
lot of things in here are cursed. Okay, so, what you want to do here, right here is a wand. Okay, now this, right now, is a wand of smiles. You point it at someone grumpy, and they are forced to smile for like a full minute.
That's
It hurts their cheeks a
want
little
it.
bit, and you're done.
Where's Charlie's gonna get it?
I want it so
Yeah.
bad.
This is about 40 gold pieces.
Oh, that's worth it.
I'll take it.
Oh,
What else you got?
Wand of smiles done. Now, over here, now this is mostly a utility thing, but I could see how you could prank someone with it. We've got a pouch of spices. So, a few times a day,
Oh.
you can season your food.
I'll take
But
it.
Here's the thing.
How much?
50 gold pieces.
Here's the thing.
Hey,
What was that?
done. What's
Uh,
next?
So,
No.
there are some things you can do that are really funny. So, if you want like your food to be kind of garlicky, you like garlic, and you just like think garlic at it, and then you get a pinch out, and it's garlic. It makes it all like garlic. You can mix things. You're like garlic and lemon. You can be like garlic and seaweed. You can do a lot of things. But then, what you do is you decide lime, and it's gross. It's really gross. Okay? It's like a little green and tart and super gross. And so what you do to prank someone is you just think lime and you get the pinch and you put it in their food. And then they eat it. It's hilarious because it's really gross.
If you
I wasn't
ruin
that bad though.
I will hit you.
Okay. Anything else? Whisper them to me because
Okay.
I don't want these guys to hear.
That's funny. But try it. Try it really quick. I mean, it's gross, but just try it. It's not. You won't yak or anything or like that.
Oh, okay.
I look at
Sand.
Sonari just like,
Sand's not a spice. Nothing happens.
Ah,
I'm supportive of this in every way. I
No,
am supportive of
lime.
this.
Just think
Anyway.
lime.
cilantro.
You get cilantro.
Oh,
you get like powder,
lime.
You get you have like a pinch of like lime zest.
fried cilantro, yeah.
Yeah. Do you taste it?
Okay, I'm gonna shove it in my mouth.
Tastes like lime zest. She's like,
and
oh,
cilantro.
nasty! I got your friend. Oh, it's actually quite pleasant. It's straight.
You know,
lime
look
zest.
at her. Look at her with straight eyes and a dead face. And just swallow.
Wow, you are tough. Okay. So sorry I've given you a lot of attention. Everybody else is also here. So
Sorry.
Tall.
I just got excited.
Tall, partly elf man. You
Oh,
look like a.
Robbie is not tall.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Robbie's like
Jonah is tall.
5'7".
Ravi's
That's
5'7".
true.
Okay. Everyone's like taking their personal heights and like shifted them
Pushed them.
slightly. Yeah. Tay went like much shorter. Chris went taller.
I went
Well, not that much
yeah, like
shorter.
a whole foot.
Right.
I don't think Tay heard my
Yes.
jab.
Yeah.
My next is
They-
6'9".
She has to
Burn.
like lean way down and like elbows kind of like flat on her counter, which is sort of built for her height. And she's like, "You look like you fight."
I tend to do that sometimes, yes.
Magic shield.
Okay.
Sorry, this is my
I-
more practical area. So over here, there's.
I don't usually use shields, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Well, then that's probably not useful for you then. I have this breastplate over here. It was enchanted by dwarves with adamantine. It makes like blows that would normally like stab right through you get blocked by magic, so it just sticks in a little bit. So you don't have to worry about getting like lucky clocked across the jaw and getting knocked out immediately. So if you've got 1,000 gold pieces, I can hand that over to you.
Keep that in mind.
Good.
Anything else you have that's interesting?
This carpet can fly! He points at this, like, large carpet hanging from the ceiling.
Oh.
It's magic! You and your friends can all, like, ride on it and fly off into the sunset.
Is there a weight limit or like a person limit?
Yeah, but, you know, it's on a range. Like, don't put any horses on it, but otherwise you're fine.
What about a dog?
It depends on the size of the dog. You're probably fine with a dog. But yeah, if you got the 40,000 gold pieces, I can bring that down and have you all take it.
Oof.
If you're looking to spy on somebody and you've got 50,000, I've got a crystal ball for scrying on people.
Really want that one.
Oh fuck.
Out of
Broke.
character.
Do we have 50 together?
No. I mean, I have 4.
I
4,000.
have 1 plus whatever's in your bag.
Oh shit, we got the other stuff too.
Yeah.
We got a lot of diamonds, but that's
I mean, if
Well,
you have
we do
stuff in your
that.
bag you want to sell, I
For
can also
other stuff.
trade
Are
credit
you-
for things.
Are you able to identify things?
Indeed, of course.
I assume for a fee. But
Depends if
there's,
someone's being a dick.
thank you. I have this, and I put a small silver skull on the table.
Oh.
I have a jar of boba
Right.
that I put on the table.
Jar.
I have a crystal ball that we found.
Kind of looks at the crystal ball for a second, like. You see her kind of like
And that-
lean below her counter. And then,
No, I promise
Then
I
like
didn't.
lean up really quick. Oh, okay. Yeah, this. Sure, we can identify stuff. Let's get on it.
Cool.
Crystal skull. Takes a minute, and does some identification on it, and then just goes. That is a skull. Sets it down.
All right, thank you.
It is.
I
It's
put
like
the silver skull in my bag.
It's a silver. It's a skull. It's made out of silver. I mean, if you find somebody that's looking for a skull made out of silver,
And yeah, exactly.
there you go.
I'm the man.
I could give you 150 gold for that. Kind of she
Gold?
points to a shelf that has a bunch of random bullshit on it, and it's just like, it would fit perfect.
Sounds like a fair trade to me.
Isn't that my silver skull?
No,
Uh,
it's in my bag.
kind of reaches to the
But
side,
I gave it to you.
flicks
I
her finger
split the
a few
gold
times,
up between the 3 of us.
sets 15 platinum pieces on the counter, and takes the skull and just puts it on the shelf over there, and it's like, perfect.
I give each of them 5.
Nice. You each get 5 platinum. And then the next thing was the jar of boba. She takes a look
Yep.
and does like a quick look, and then it's just like, let's see. Well, the jar has a very minor protection spell on it. It's just meant to keep it from like bumping and shattering and things. I'm gonna have to open it up. See the spin, and the lid kind of spins on its own on the top for a second, and it's like grabs it, takes it off, and she's like, does like you guys sit as she does like an identify, and goes, oh, okay, and she like fully just like touches it with her finger. So the bobas are in a distilled honey. It's meant to make them taste, a little bit sweet. And you just throws the lid back on. She's like, what you have there are 50 bobas, that each of which you can eat to satisfy your nutrition for a day. Looks like somebody's, like traveling provisions, but for someone really fancy. Most people will just get some hardtack and some jerky, and some dried fruit, some nuts, and hit the road.
More space efficient, I presume.
Yeah, it uses a lot less space, and people like people that are really serious, that really don't care what anything tastes like. They love these things. You pop one in your mouth and then you move on with your day. I like to sit down and eat for a little bit.
I agree, but I'm sure these would be helpful in a bind.
Probably. Are you okay? Like looking over at Sonari, you're like,
I'm just like, not like shuffling my feet, but won't like look. This is the first time I've had to look up at a woman.
yeah.
Really, like this is the first time in a while, and so I don't know what to do with that. Like, yeah, do you have like missile things that would come back after I throw them?
Oh, that does.
Can I
sound
tell that
cool.
Sonari is enamored?
Make
Yeah.
an insight check.
Alright.
That's a 22.
Probably.
Oh, you.
What are you thinking? Like an axe, or not? I didn't want to stereotype, but you have a giant one on your back.
That could be fun.
Like
but
a hand axe that can then like hit and then come back to you, kind of thing.
Yeah. Essentially, just I want to be able to. I don't want to have to search for my
Oh!
things
You know what
anymore.
I've?
You know?
I'm sorry. Do you know what I've seen? I haven't made one yet, but I would love to get a chance. I've seen a belt that has like slots in it, and things will return to the belt every like so often. So you can like throw something, and then it'll hit, and then when it like a amount of time will go by, and it'll just teleport back and be on the belt. I've seen that before, so that's something I could work on.
That sounds very fun. Yeah.
That would be
Would I?
cool.
Do you think if I would I be able to fit like my javelins onto that? Could I wear it in a certain way,
I don't know if javelins would work real well.
like a sash situation?
We could try. I don't know that I could fit multiple. It'd probably just be like a 1 or 2 situation.
That's absolutely fair.
Yeah. Oh, you know what you could also do?
Hmm.
Kind of slides over to the side of a counter. I'd be like, you don't need a ton of magical expertise to use some of these. She has like pulls up a little like rack of wands. She's like, some of these are really useful, and if you're looking for like a ranged hurt things option, this guy right here is kind of what you want. And there's a white ridged wand with a small like almost like blue flame, like rough crystal at the end of it, and it's just like this is a wand of magic missiles, and you can use it to shoot things with magical missiles. I'm sorry.
How much would
It was really self-explanatory in the name, and I didn't know where to go from there.
That's fine. That's fine. How much would it be for that versus the belt?
Well, the belt's
situation?
gonna be a custom thing, and I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to research and stuff. This might take a month or two. But it is theoretically possible. But again, I would have to kind of work out exactly how this would work. But anyways, this here, the wand of magic missiles here, I could give you for, let's say, 400 gold pieces.
Yeah. Okay. Is 40 platinum okay?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And this is just like I'm gonna buy anything she tells me.
I love customers like that.
Oh,
You know,
I'm just gonna
Like-
buy what you hand me.
Okay.
it's like you tell me what to buy, and it's like, all right, that makes my job a little easier.
Sometimes.
That would be a fun thing to do. Just show up at like a stereo station and just be like, I will buy whatever you think I should. And they're just
Yeah.
like, okay. I work
All
on a
right, time to
commission. You're like,
spend-
even better.
Yeah, time to spend $1 million.
Right.
I have
Have
money.
it in me.
If I-
So Wand of Magic Missiles is 7 charges, restores a D6 plus 1 at dawn. If it's ever out of charges, you have to roll a D20, and if you roll a 1, it's gonna disintegrate. But
Okay.
if you spend a charge, it'll cast magic missiles, and then for every charge extra you spend to do the casting, it levels up the casting. So you can like
Oh, cool.
blow all 7 to do an 8th level magic missile spell.
Is there a choice to not get it level up?
Wouldn't
Huh?
it? Wouldn't it?
Is there a choice to
It would
not
be
level
more
up?
Yeah, you can
efficient
just
to
use
do each
one
one
charge
individually.
and just blast.
Oh,
them
all right.
taking
So
it.
I'll use multiple charges
Yeah.
to level up.
You have
I
the
see, I see.
option as you
I
do.
thought it was
the
like
thing.
1 and then level 2 and then keep going. I was
Right.
like, oh god,
You're like, ah! And it's like machine
hurting
gunning.
people. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, that
I
gives you.
hurt everything I touch.
Does not require attunement. And it's just a option for blasting stuff.
Oh, and the orb, or
Right.
the sphere.
I have a suspicion. She does her identify and goes, yeah, that is used to scry on people.
Oh.
It's an orb of scrying.
Oh.
That's fancy.
Thank you. I had my suspicions. I've heard of them before, which is why I was interested when you mentioned that you had one.
I do, which is why I'm a little. I was a little not taken aback, but I was a little like, wait, what? Because it's sort of like when you have something really specific, and then there's just like another one, and you're like,
Yeah.
that's odd. There's
I assure you, I have not stolen anything from this
Oh
shop.
no, mine is still in its box, so
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
definitely. But yeah, it's
so
it's a hefty thing you got there.
so
What dude? What's that?
how is that like an actual D&D item that I can find in D&D
It
Beyond?
is a
Or
crystal ball. It does not have any
Okay.
of the additional. There are crystal balls of mind reading, crystal balls of telepathy, crystal balls
Okay.
of true seeing, but no, it's a straight crystal ball
Okay.
without the variants. So it allows you to cast this scrying spell.
Cool. At will?
While touching it. Yep.
Damn.
Whenever you want. You can just scry.
Ow!
Damn.
That's OP. I'm excited about
That's
that.
real good.
Yeah.
Use it.
I mean, I got some people I want to check up.
You do have to attune to it, but
it is indeed an attunement item.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, get to know this thing and think about who you want to check in on, and
yeah.
hopefully you don't catch them in an awkward moment, and there you go.
Thank you.
You hear horror stories about the scry spell when you're like
Yeah.
learning magic, you know? People talk about like I scryed on my professor, and then it
Yeah,
turned out, things were happening.
Yeah.
And
Stuff like that never happened to me, but I definitely heard those stories before.
You've never pooped?
No, I mean, I've never scryed on someone
Oh, okay.
while they're pooping.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right.
All
They
right.
called him Professor Scatterbrains after that.
You-
So,
Do you buy gems?
sure. Yeah, they use those to enchant sometimes.
Ooh. I have 8 of these, and I put the 800 gold piece gems on the table.
Those are basically money. Sure.
Yeah. All right.
Kind of gives them a look over each one, and then it's just like, yep. And she seems to do most of her dealings in platinum pieces, and puts the 80 platinum for the 800 gold on the counter.
You both get 26.
Another 26 platinum for Charlie and Sonari.
Yep.
Loot gets split. We should probably fast forward a little bit as we are on shopping episode with one of our members sitting quietly off to the side for an hour and a half. So,
Yay!
I don't have anything else really, unless she has exciting stuff.
So, quick plot points. Charlie
Just to eat?
is restricted on exactly what they want to do, as the town is on the lookout for pickpockets at the moment, with a high alert going on. You can maneuver with their disguise thing. Sonari looks like would like to do something roleplay related.
Oh, I was like, any good places to eat around here?
You see her make an insight check.
Yeah.
You.
My insight isn't great. Okay, that's 19.
You see her almost make a joke and stop.
Oh, no.
Here.
The
And
implication.
there's that moment of like almost making the joke and then not, like she just met you and it was just like,
Yeah, we've never seen green turn red, but
right. There's a yeah, I mean it's like a vacation town, so there's bistros all over the place. I could show you around after I close up if you want, if your friends don't need you for anything in particular.
uh-huh.
No,
Yeah.
I think Charlie and I have other plans anyways.
Good. All
Cool.
right. You all
Cool.
go take care of your
I
days,
wink it. I give
Um,
Sonari a wink.
and we'll see you around.
I grab Charlie and
Back.
drag them
well,
out.
it's after close, yeah.
Yes.
For sure.
Who's come
Everyone
back?
has now been laid or on a
Has
date
not been.
except for Lucian.
Right. There is a.
Well, Lucian, I
Lucian
got
is
You
murdered
didn't
on my
survive long
ship.
enough.
Lucian's the one. Oh no, Taylor.
Why do you think I made my new character?
You were
have a fiancé?
figuratively fucked by your person.
Hey.
I would rather be literally.
I think most of us would be, but
And yet,
Charlie, are you
Oh.
planning to look into doing crime in this next week?
next 2 weeks.
Do crime.
I will just look into the
you planning to
job, but I do want to. I have 4 people I want to scry on.
All right.
do
5.
tonight?
So Charlie wants to.
We can do that another time though. I have 6 people I want to scry on.
Awesome. So Charlie wants to just spend time scrying on people.
A hit list.
All right. So.
Yeah.
Don't call it your hit list. It makes it sound like you're going to murder them.
Okay. So,
So not.
Charlie, make an intelligence check.
15.
15. Okay. So, your list of people you would like to check on. Who is your first one?
Sophia.
Sophia, your partner back in Seton.
The lady on the island.
Oh,
was
that's right.
nice.
Yeah.
That got off the island
Yes,
with
yes.
us on the
Halfling
boat.
celestial warlock lady.
Yeah.
Sophia, you don't know where they're working in particular there, but there is a market, and they appear to be swiping various valuables and pocketing them and making their way around. You'll just see
Or
like
celestial warlock.
you'll see gems like fly into their hand and stuff, and kind of keeping an eye on them for part of the week. They seem to be doing the whole take from the rich, give to the poor kind of thing. You know, sometimes you check in on her and she's stealing stuff, and then other times she seems to be fencing it, and then other times it seems to be like feeding like homeless and underprivileged people. So it seems to be doing the whole rich to poor pipeline of valuables. And
Communism.
who's
Glad she wasn't obliterated by the axe.
right?
Yeah.
I was worried about that.
Right. And then who is number 2?
Grog.
Grog. You go to look in on Grog. You see something confusing a few times. Your first check-in, you just see some animal rummaging through muck and random debris, and you're like, this can't be right. And you spend the rest of the week kind of keeping an eye on, and then you spot him, and it seems to be working for some people in the woods. Himself with sort of shabby armor and weapons. And then on one of your look-ins, you see him holding down someone who's been pulled from a cart, a random civilian, like peasant person, and the other person is just screaming, is looking around horrified as you watch him transform into like a bestial person and proceed to tear into the neck of this random civilian and just murdering them on the side
Does
of the
he
road.
have arms?
I mean, he has arms. He seems to be making use of teeth as he transforms.
Nom nom nom.
It's good to know he has arms. Cool.
This is fair.
So we just have a couple of prosthetic arms for no reason. Just in case someone loses one of theirs.
Right. But it appears he's been pulled into some sort of lycanthropy cult or something. You're not 100% sure. but you have seen him interacting with others in the group, but it's mostly him just saying yes and like agreeing and saying okay, I understand, and rather subservient is sort of the vibe you get from him.
Cool.
Sonari, I'm not gonna have you roll for other things.
Okay.
You should always take 10. That's a deep cut D&D joke. But I'm gonna have you make a persuasion check.
It's a constitution check.
No.
Persuasion.
If you're needed to make a constitution check, you've gone too long. Take a break, get some water.
No, it's not good. It's not good. It's not good. That's -1. So then a 7.
Oh.
7. All right.
Oh.
You spend a week. That's fun.
Oh.
You know, you get some dinner a few times. About 2/3 of the way through the week, you're getting a vibe that this is a vacation thing.
Oh. Okay.
She's just sort of like, I gotta get to work, and like doesn't let you stay over when she goes to work.
Yeah.
Like
No, that's fine.
it's not even, you're realizing it's not that fun anymore after about the third night, and you're kind of like, okay,
Cool.
probably the adult thing to do is just to say cool, thanks, bye, and like go let her do her thing, and you go do your thing. You don't feel like you made any enemies this week,
Cool.
but otherwise, sort of.
That's good.
I thought you were gonna say like she just ghosted me after the third time. I'm just like, well, that's kind of fucked up.
Right.
Rude.
I understand.
Next time we
it's
come
like a
into town
thing. We're
looking for
good.
magic items.
Right.
Hi.
Okay, and Ravi, what did you want to do?
I wanted to, there's a couple things. I wanted to, since we're in the Elven lands, we're relatively closer to my home, I think. Right?
Not super, no.
But closer than
Elflands
Sen.
span most of the continent. Your home is
Okay.
on the border on the other side of the
I
Apple
see.
Over.
Okay. Never mind then. I would like to scry on my uncle.
Gotcha. You are basically in LA saying, like, we're kind of in New York, and people go, what?
See, I was thinking like we're kind of in Seattle,
Right.
you know, like thinking like we were in Florida before, you know.
Nice. So at some point during the week, you are going to get the sphere from Charlie and do some scrying.
I'll get my sphere back from Charlie.
That's fair. Go ahead and make an intelligence check for me.
Intelligence check. I do know him very well.
It's
I don't
true.
think I have anything of his, but
I'm basically saying you're doing research, but with like a special special thing.
I see.
You're using the internet.
Flat intelligence check is a 14.
Nice. You gather a couple of pieces of information, keeping an eye on him. He is ruling. You get him on the throne, as he does occasionally walk around. Seems very pleased with himself. There is not a worry in his head at the moment. You see a distinctive blade at his hip, and he, in a second time you go to check in, he is distinctly judging someone. Someone has apparently crossed his authority, and you're only catching part of the conversation, but you gather that it's just a farmer in the area that isn't making his quota, and then the farmer is sort of grabbed and held at sword point and made to decide if it's going to be his life now or his son's life in the militia to serve out his failures. And the farmer gives up his son to the militia to go work for that. And you hear You don't know the age. You're only catching bits of yell-outs to father. You imagine mid-late teens. Hard to say without getting a look at the kid.
Yikes.
But you can hear a kid get dragged off to go get conscripted into
Yeah.
the local army. And then he still digs the sword into the eye socket of the old man and like takes an eye out.
Is it
It's like-
anyways?
And splats it on the ground,
Okay.
being like, maybe
Dude,
that'll
your uncle's an asshole.
maybe you'll keep a better eye on your crops, and like gets kicked out of the room.
Damn.
And then with no remorse whatsoever, just cleans the tip of the blade and goes to sit in his throne. He grabs a goblet with a little wine in it. He goes, next. How many more
I don't
today?
tell anyone else about that.
Right.
Douchebag.
It's just kind of like, oh.
Yes.
And then another time I would like to scry on Aldrich, the hobgoblin of the group.
The
The hobgoblin from the last group, yeah.
Oh, gotcha. You go to scry in, and at first time you get just blackness. And there's a pause because you would think the spell would just fail if they were dead or something. And then it's like the sensor gets a hand on it and the eye is matching the sensor as if they've gripped a hold of the intangible magical sensor that would be scrying on them, and they just stare into it and they just go, no, and smash it, and then you lose connection.
Yeah. Oh. I'll try Krond next then.
You are with your check you are out of uses,
Oh.
or for useful information anyways.
Okay.
As we need to move on at some point. All right.
Damn.
The
Okay.
end of the week comes along. The early morning, there is a loud pounding at the door of your cabin, waking everyone up. Hello,
Hi. I opened the door.
it's the little one. Oh, hi. You recognize the marble smith from the forge next to the main town. They have
The one that had Charlie's bow.
Yeah. You do see him with a cloth wrapped something, roughly bow sized in shape. And he's like, where's your friend?
They're over here.
I'm here.
Come here quick before it's too active out. Let's go.
Okay. Is that my bow?
I'm only giving this to you because she said it's okay. Unwraps, and you can see your bow, which had dwarven runes in it before, every rune has been like covered and filled with what at first looks like really rough cut glitter, and you realize it's just like ground shards of their like marble material has counter-filled every rune to make it smooth, and so it does kind of sparkle in the light as you move it with the gem at the center. It is strung up the dark wood with a dark bowstring on it, and hands the short bow over to you. I hope she's right, that you're someone who should have this. Let's go before there's crowds. Let's go. He puts it in your chest.
Yeah. Oh,
And
I'm coming.
you don't have any of your arrows or anything, and he's like, shoot the barrel. Shoot. You're like, you kind of like sarcastically almost like pull the bowstring, and you everyone can see this, but a thread of light forms into like an arrow, and as you loose it, the barrel of water like impacts with radiant energy.
Sick.
You can still use arrows with it if you need to. Obviously, firing bolts of light is not going to be the stealthiest thing. You seem like the type that sneaks around a bit.
I might cry And I'm an ugly crier, and you won't want to see that.
She's insisted you use the next ability probably once a month, mostly to prank someone. He shows you how to pull it and adjust the string a little bit, and he's like, it's only gonna work once a day, and it aims at a spot on a dock within the bow's range and fires, and a like glitter bomb goes off and like lights up the area as these little glinting bits of dust float through the air. Like, it'll help you mark out anyone who's invisible in that area. Also, it'll help people attack anyone in there. It's pretty easy to spot their weak points with that. So you can cast Fairy Fire once a day,
Sick.
and then
Will it like, will the glitter crap like get in their eyes?
it won't hurt
Everywhere.
them that much. It'll just make them really spottable. It's magic. It's
Will
not...
will it make
You'll
them
never
sneeze?
see,
glitter.
but you have glitter in your hair for
Oh.
years.
Right? That's
Yep.
the worst.
Charlie would want that.
And then the other unique
Not on
thing,
their own,
the
but
other unique thing he points out is how to fire the arrows and have them not damage anything, but like leave a source of light where they shoot. So it's got the
Sweet.
at will can cast light at the bow's range, and once a day can cast fairy fire at the bow's range.
Mm.
And
it's
then
pretty sick.
you can use
And-
arrows. If you don't use arrows, then it's a then it does radiant damage,
Damn.
and it is also a +1 bow in addition to all the other random stuff.
Sick.
It already was. I'm so
He
excited.
kind of grabs you by the shoulder as you seem more excited than serious, and he's like, this thing's barely awoken. You need to complete its awakening. She'll have a purpose for you. Listen.
Oh, okay. Can I still like see the future?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I could like see the future before. I'd be like, hey, little man, show me a thing.
This sounds
Well, no, I actually it would just do it on its own.
this sounds like the demonic spirit manipulating you.
Oh,
That's why I pulled the shard out, because a demonic spirit had a hold.
yeah. Yeah, demons aren't great. Thank you for that information.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
There's a temple in the northern mountains near where the snow elves call home, and it's a place. I mean, it's been taken over by a sect of like vigilante do-gooders, but the temple itself is still a good focal point. I'd suggest that, unless she points somewhere else for you. It's also said
Well, just thank you. Thank you. I'm like kind of like yelling at the pearl.
that's not how any of that works. Cianine, what have you done? It seems like questioning its god's decisions, and it's just like, well, I'm do some good while you mess with people. That's all she asks.
Bada bing, bada boom, you got it, guy.
I'm very uncomfortable, and stands up and like gives a nod to the rest of the group and walks away.
Thank you. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you.
The
Your
sun,
very
video's all out of
confused.
sync
the sun
again.
has risen at this point, but you you take some time to attune to your bow. Ravi, are you gonna do a morning scry on somebody?
Yeah, I'll scry on Krond,
Krond was the...
a Minotaur.
I'm bad with names.
Yeah.
Without too much issue, you just I will roll for his exact position. You come in on a scene that is intensely graphic for you.
Oh god.
And he's having a good time.
I immediately come out of the scry.
Wonder what this guy's doing. Oh god!
He's having a good morning time with some special people. You counted 2, but you weren't sure because he got out of there pretty quick before you got a full surveil of the situation. Seems like he's doing fine.
Still alive.
It's still alive. It's very.
It's like he's doing pretty good.
Pretty alive.
Pretty alive.
Actually.
Doing pretty alive.
And last but not least, Ilaria.
Okay.
The tiefling.
The
She
tiefling.
she was the last of the 3.
Gotcha. I don't have your backstory in front of me.
That's fine. That's why I was explaining to you.
Right. You come in on her. Looks like she's in a castle of some kind. Looks like she's got a bit of a maid's outfit, and is moving around. Seems to be cleaning things. You notice she's not really cleaning things. There's a bit of a duster, and she keeps keeping an eye out, and seems to be really shady, but it's pulling some kind of job in a castle.
Yeah, seems like her. All right, cool.
Crime.
Okay.
And that's all my scries.
Gotcha. And now, Charlie, are you popping on an illusion and heading into town with everybody else to have a look around at other stuff?
I have
Yeah, I'll
one more
be my
scry
little
later.
cranky, crazy gnome man.
Cranky Crazy Gnome Man, the new bow.
Yeah. And my big ol' nose.
There's as you all get to the edge of town, there is a distinct column of black smoke on the sort of northeastern edge of town. There's bells getting rang, and there's a distinct flare up on the edge of town. You can even see licks of flames reaching the top.
Oh, cool.
Oh, hey, maybe that was that job that there were markers for. There was a thieves guild job, and that looks like a thieves guild. There's black smoke.
I thought Thieves Guild stuff was supposed to be, like, discreet.
I mean, sometimes we fuck up really bad.
Ah.
Those bells.
I assume they're fire bells.
I've heard them before.
Yeah. I
Oh,
assumed you
maybe.
had.
I mean, I've heard, like, those kinds of bells for guards, but yeah, I mean, we can go check it out.
Yeah, I'll go, like... I don't really have any way to help.
You see
Put out a
people
fire.
rushing up to the beach and, like, getting their buckets of water. Since it's on the opposite end of town, it looks like it's a slow go to get over there with with ocean
People
water.
rushing.
Like that.
Yeah.
As you rush over, it does seem like there is now ablaze bakery that, Charlie, you stopped by at one point.
Yep, yes, Thieves Guild thing. Aw, damn, they had really good biscuits.
You remember that
That's
biscuit?
too bad.
It was like a brioche biscuit, but made with like extra sugar, and so it was meant to be like a mix between like a brioche biscuit and a donut.
Oh, yeah.
And you're
So
like,
good.
Stop making me hungry, Jeff.
I haven't eaten dinner either. Stop making me hungry.
I made banana bread the other day, and I accidentally put in double the butter, and it turned out that was the secret.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I was like, these
Double
sticks
butter.
of butter are smaller
more
than
butter
the
is
other ones.
always the secret.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I get for everything being in ounces. You damn metrics. So, the place is ablaze. You all have gotten close. Water is getting splashed on the building. You can all make a perception check.
Ooh.
22.
Oh god.
12.
Bandage, that was bad. It's 10, I think.
Oh my.
Yeah.
You catch no amazing details except except Ravi. Charlie and Sonari do spot a Charlie in particular. You spot the same half-orc woman that you'd seen before when you were last at the bakery about a week ago, and is holding another woman whose arm has been burned in the fire, and is it doesn't seem to be in like immediate mortal danger, but was injured in the blaze.
When I notice that there's the injured woman, I will go over to her.
Can I backpack?
What?
Backpack.
I'm
and I'm gonna
already-
reach in and grab.
Ravi's like
arm.
already leaving.
Yeah,
And
I'm
then
like
I'll walk
going to
over
the
with the
person
new
who
arm.
seems injured.
Is Charlie drunk?
Well, I have an
arm.
Because we're having
Ravi,
fun.
you rush over. You have healing magic.
There. Yeah. Come here. How hurt do they look?
Like they could get up and walk, but their arm is pretty burned.
I will third level cure wounds then.
Nice.
Thank you.
Shiro, as you are there with your fiance,
Yes.
who has been burned in the sudden fire, there's a stranger, half-elf bard-looking dude walks up and offers aid, and then magic comes out of his hands and immediately heals the flesh of her arm completely. She is essentially like, but with the third level, she's fully cured, and like magic just like re-stitches all of the skin back together. Her sleeve is still like burned off, but she's just like, thank you.
Sorry, I can't really do anything about the fire, but there's people that I'm better at that sort of thing.
Thank you. One question. Who?
Oh, I'm Ravi.
I'd offer you some baked goods, but as you can see,
I'm not going to make a joke.
Burnt bread smell is in the air. Ash coming down. That's probably part dough, part butter.
I'm going to commit a murder.
Bread, no.
Bread.
The greatest atrocity of all.
Charlie, you see a guard walk up and kind of lean down to this half-orc woman and her fiance, and just be like,
I'm 6'9".
well, I imagine you're kneeling a little bit with your fiance.
Oh,
That's just towering over everyone.
I thought we were standing. Sorry.
Kind of just leans down, and then kind of looks over at Charlie for a second. And Charlie, you recognize the same as they recognize in you, someone in a disguised self. And so there's a hesitation as they like lean down and like make eye contact with Charlie, but then they just turn towards Shiro and go, "Looks like you should have paid their bets." And then they're gone.
I'm going to. I'm just gonna look at him and just like, "Fuck."
He's
you.
already gone.
Fucking Stardust.
Do I hear that?
Yes. Charlie.
Do I hear that?
Tay is on a huge delay. I saw the scream and I was like, "Huh?
Yeah.
Are you
3,
muted?" Oh, there they
2,
are.
1.
What shows appearance in the D&D chat, by the way?
I can't look at that. It messes up the whole system. But Charlie, you do hear that the fucking Stardust.
Cool. I'm turning around and walking away.
Do I notice that?
Yeah, make an insight check, I guess.
Okay. Damn. If only I had a character that had advantage on those.
Oh no.
13?
I mean,
Total?
it's not subtle how they like. There was like fucking Stardust, and then as,
Turn on a dime.
as the name was mentioned, go and like start leaving. They know Stardust.
I'm going to follow them and just do the very passive-aggressive grab on the shoulder and it's just like, chat, shall we? Just lean
Run.
over.
That's what I'm best at. I'm gonna run.
Charlie.
Go ahead and make an athletics check for a new character versus the acrobatics of Charlie.
Okay.
23.
See, I thought, Jeff, you said make an acrobatics check or a new character. I was like,
Yeah, me too.
Tie. I rolled a 16 plus 7.
Mm.
What's a tie?
it's a 2 yeah, it's 23.
Uh,
They meet your.
yeah, they
you
do
basically set the DC with your roll, so they meet it and beat it.
there's a bunch of like tumbling and spinning, but she's just like got a hold of you, and like eventually at a certain point it's like picked you up at this point.
It's like a cat. Like a cat.
Let me go. Get out of here.
Molly.
Now, you are going to explain how you know Stardust.
I like walk over and I just should we maybe not mention that name so flippantly?
Oh, no.
Find a more private place.
If I
We're
told
not-
them...
We're not with her, if that's what you're wondering.
Can't be sure. If
I
small
want
person.
try to take
Charlie?
Charlie from her.
Small person. Pronouns. Now.
Them day.
Okay. If I...
Where are yours?
she, her.
Sonari, go ahead and make an athletics check.
Yeah. Um, 19.
19. Lucian, if you're trying, or not Lucian anymore. I gotta fix the borders because my visual references are like, yeah, my brain.
God.
Oh yeah, sorry, I'll do that.
No worries. But yeah, for Shiro, make another athletics check.
Natural 1!
Hey.
There's as you're going to talk, Sonari just grabs the small person from your
You
from
don't
your
touch my friends. Who are you?
Thanks, ma'am.
Thanks,
ma'am.
I wasn't gonna hurt them.
I'm like, don't run, and I'm gonna put them down, but like, be ready to grab if they run again.
right.
I feel
Robbie
like...
looks at Charlie like, did you just go around?
Now, small person. How do you... should we go... I have a place...
Let's find a private spot to talk
How to-
about the
I have a
criminal
place
underworld.
about a block from here. It's pretty safe.
Yeah.
'Cause I have a giant...
What is the state of the fire we're leaving?
The people
And the people?
the people in town have managed to manage it
Put it out.
enough that it's not affecting other buildings, but it's raging enough that they're not bothering to commit the resources to put it out. They're just making sure it doesn't spread. It's going to be a full burn down.
Yeah.
Shiro is going to go back over and help her fiance up and
That was
just say, we're going to head home with these people who know something.
It's like, okay, I'm going to
Apparently-
drink.
That's fair. I'm probably going to do the same.
I'm gonna look at Ravi and go, run. Get out of here.
And I just do like I'll kill you. I'll kill you.
Murder
If you
Charlie.
try and run from this problem again, I'll kill you.
Stop running from your problems, nerd.
Charlie, make a wisdom saving throw.
I'm gonna make an intimidation check.
Oh! No!
That one?
3!
A 3?
The second worst thing you can roll as a halfling.
Charlie, you have that moment where you see that you're going to have to face your previous life, and it's you're going to be on a path directly into it, and that terrifies the shit out of you, and you want to bolt. And as you turn heel at a gap in Sonari's observation, you just like don't, and you right yourself and start following. And in the back of your head, you just hear like a, that's enough running.
I mean, my intimidation check was also a nat 20, so.
Hey, yeah, that too. And
You're the moon chick, aren't you?
you're looking right at Ravi as you say this. Ravi, they say, you're the moon chick, aren't you? I like right in your face.
What drugs are you on?
No, I'm talking to like I'm talking to my bow. Leave me alone.
Yeah, of course.
You're the moon chick, aren't you?
How many different drugs? Give me your list.
And can I have some?
Charlie,
Yeah,
although
moon
childish,
lady.
Charlie, though
following
childish,
Shiro.
follows through, and you all make it to Shiro's home with her fiance, who immediately just pours some wine just for herself and like goes off to like a side study and is just disengaging from this at the moment.
Shiro is going to do the same. Just so explain.
Look at Charlie.
I'm gonna grab my flask and drink the whole thing.
I feel like that's a bad idea.
So I used to work for Stardust, and like, I mean, you saw what happened back there, and the job didn't go very good, and ta-da.
You see, I don't think it was a job. They were threatening me for protection money.
No, not that. I don't know what she's doing now. That was like 2.5 months ago, and I was out of there.
Want to explain how you knew there was going to be a job at my bakery?
There were like inks. I thought they would just like come in and steal some cash and stuff. You know, that bun, tiefling girl. Hi, that bun that you gave me, so good.
Shiro, your fiance pipes up
So good.
with mentioning of the inks, as Charlie starts to get the alcohol starts to hit Charlie as they remember a very buttery biscuit. But your fiance is just like, oh, remember the graffiti I was trying to clean off the other day? The little marking.
Oh,
we couldn't figure out what it said.
That's that stupid thieves thing, isn't it?
Shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm gonna go bake. It's part of how I relieve stress.
Can you make some more of those biscuit things?
I can, yeah. And Lucian's gonna head to their
Thank
kitchen
you.
and start baking. I'm messing up with the food.
That's
Shiro
fine.
is going to go to the kitchen and start baking.
Shiro's fiance. Can I get a ancestry and any details about your?
Half elf, shorter than your average
Sure.
half elf.
I thought you were half orc.
No,
The fiance,
the
not
fiance.
Oh, sorry.
She has like midnight blue hair and like lots of freckles, and her eyes are like a silvery.
Got it. Name?
Para, Para.
Para.
Yes.
Para,
What?
it's most of the way through a
I
good.
was just thinking of a terrible joke for that.
What?
No, I'm not gonna say it.
No.
No,
There's
no,
a Smosh joke from one of the Try Not to Laughs of like It's like, men and women, we're all different. Men, we got, arms and legs. Women, they're all paraplegic. And it's just like...
Oh no, that wasn't
I
the
was
one.
talking to my wife, she's paraplegic. And,
Yeah, me the joke.
yeah. So, Para is just like, oh, I'm gonna get out your stuff. So as you're baking, I can see what's gonna happen. And
I'm gonna have to beat a bitch with my fuck off hammer. Die.
a side closet is opened, and there is like an armor rack, with this half plate that has these bits of like sort of a blackish gold armor that's been reinforced in the joints and in the key structures. It's dragged out. A hammer is pulled off next to it and like an adventuring pack, and like a side pouch of gold that she opens up and starts counting through to make sure there's a good supply of coin in there. Just like, I've got 500, your hammer, your armor, and your regular traveling gear, alright?
That works. Can you get... do I still have that fur cloak? That thing was really nice. Do I have it? I can buy another one. Never mind.
I think we threw it out last year with that mold, you remember?
Yeah, right, thanks. I'll buy a new one. Thank you. Thank you, darling.
A lovely couple.
Lena, the cloak,
Where's my super
I
suit?
was literally gonna say that, yeah.
the cloak lady out on the edge of town does good work. Get a new one.
Yeah, I will. Thank you, dear. And
Big fuck off hammer.
yes, I'll show you in a bit once I'm done baking.
There's a shield and a like a one or two-handed like versatile hammer, war hammer type thing. There's these like large etch runes that are in some of the gear, and that don't match any like anything else about them. They're just sort of like in there, like on standby.
Do I need to make a check for baking?
I don't believe so. I would say go ahead and make a tool check for baking.
Cool. Because with one of my runes, I have expertise while with any tool I use.
All right, so double your proficiency, and we're gonna say your intelligence modifier.
Hey, that's actually a +1.
Yeah, you only have a +0 on charisma, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So +6. 15.
15's quite solid, yeah. The butter biscuits are brought out, and these are the chef feet bonus snacks that are ready to go.
You can take one. They stay pretty warm. Very good. Charlie's gone, so the Tay's gone, so I can't ask them a question. Hey.
So, as part of a short rest, you cook special food, provided you have ingredients and cook utensils on hand. Enough food for number of creatures equal to 4 plus your proficiency bonus. At the end of the short rest, and any creature who eats the food and spends 1 or more hit dice regains an extra 1d8.
Basically Song of Rest, but
Yeah,
a little bit better.
Extra Song of Rest, essentially. And then if you use an hour at the end of a long rest, you can make special treats equal to your proficiency bonus. So that's you can make 3 of the special treats. So there's a few that have jelly. I'll say.
Can I say, actually, I was thinking something like I could carve little runes in them.
Oh, sure. There's you have some little rune stamps in your cooking utensils.
Yeah.
Special treats last for 8 hours. You can use a bonus action to eat one and gain temporary hit points equal to your proficiency bonus. So you can get 3 temporary hit points by
Yeah!
slamming the ruined butter biscuit.
3 whole temp hit
Three hit
points.
points.
Nice.
I mean, you feed them to a familiar, and that like triples their hit points.
Yeah.
Feed it to a pseudo dragon.
Right. You have this odd group of compatriots. You're not too unused to seeing adventurers wander through, and you know the types, but it's fortuitous to find some who know who Stardust is, seems to have an inn, and is now in your house ready to make a plan. And so you hand each of the three these butter biscuits. You each eat the treat.
Oh, thank you.
That's very good.
Oh, it's so good.
You get
That's
Yeah.
three
That's
temporary
really good.
three temporary hit points. You are bolstered by the butter. In these bits.
Bolstered by the butter.
A little bit of runic magic. I can't do it very often, but it makes baking better. Now, small one. How do you know Stardust?
I used to work for me and my friend.
Okay. Follow-up question. Do you know where she is?
We have an idea.
I mean, you have the orb thingy, right?
Well, and also in the last city we were in, they said that she was in the mountains on the way to the dwarven cities.
But he's here now.
Is she here now? Or
Well,
are her people here now?
It was one of her lackeys. From as far as I can tell, she's like a crime boss or something. She wouldn't do shit like that herself.
Yeah, she's got like
My voice is
diamonds
slowly-
embedded in her face now or something.
That's both metal as fuck and also
so what do you want to do?
I imagine something with that big fuck off hammer.
yeah. I imagine
And
Uh,
me not going. Cool
Charlie.
No.
team.
Charlie.
I'm
Listen,
not taking
that-
on an entire mob, essentially mafia, on my own. That's suicide.
That back there, the alarms, and then hearing that name, that just brought up a lot, and I'm scared.
Charlie,
Understand?
you see a little glint, a little sparkle on a wall, roughly east northeast. On the wall, just a little glint, just like the little bead of a diamond in a sparkling in a wall. It catches your eye.
Do you guys see that?
You guys, what?
It's there, the diamond spark thing.
I look at where
No.
Pointing
it's
at
pointing.
your wall.
Are you sure you're
No.
not on drugs right now?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna punch it.
Don't
You-
punch
No,
my
I'm not.
wall.
I'm gonna shoot an arrow at it.
Don't.
It's not better.
Yeah, it's not.
like,
pulling out their bow.
You see them go to pull
My
out their
damage
bow.
closet.
You get stopped from firing an arrow inside the house.
You are.
Let
No
me.
weapons.
If it's a diamond, it could be Stardust.
Are you? What?
Are you on drugs?
Seriously?
I want to
There's
shoot
nothing
it.
there.
No.
It's. I could. Do I still see it?
You go to look and it's not far away. You can inspect the speck on the wall.
I'm gonna inspect the speck.
You see it, and it disappears as you touch it, and then, but you have a sense of like wanting to go that direction.
If you guys want to go follow Stardust, I have a feeling it's that way.
If we are going to follow Stardust,
I have a feeling you're coming with us.
Yeah, me too.
All right, good. And as a treat, I'll make more biscuits when I can.
that's like a good deal.
Fucking better.
We are kind of waiting on a friend though, and Passage. Kind of have a transport to like anywhere
Well, why don't
coming
you
in a week.
like
So
to do crystal ball? See what
Yeah, I
she's
can-
doing. See when she's like if she's coming back.
yeah,
Oh,
I can look.
Para in particular is like,
But-
you're gonna what? Like, but Ravi, yeah, you get the crystal ball set up.
Yeah, I take it out.
what are you doing?
They do a magic ritual like right in your living room.
This is interesting.
You go to look in. You go to scry on Lucian, and there's nothing.
Oh no,
Or
wait, sorry, I was.
Who are you scrying on?
Who did Charlie say to scry on?
Lucian.
Oh, okay, then yeah, Lucian. I was going to scry on Lucian today at some point as well.
You go to
'Cause I was
scry
like, I
on
wonder how they're
Lucian, and it's not like when you scried on that other person you know, and they had some sort of dark room they were in, and they could see the sensor and were messing with it back. There's no connection. There's nothing. No such person is.
Do I need to make an insight check for that?
Make an Arcana check to know what
Cool.
failure connect means.
And I also make an Arcana.
A nat 20.
You're not the
making-
one doing it, so unless Ravi said something. But no, with the nat 20, you are now aware that it is right about the time frame where that pirate ship would be arriving at their destination, supposedly, and then be linking up with an airship and returning. But there is no connection. Lucian is dead. If there's no connection being made.
When I like come out of like trying,
Mhm.
I look at the other side. Lucian's dead.
Like
You're not serious.
I can try yourself.
from,
She's
from
this. I can't.
Like-
I can't make a connection to
How?
her. I don't know. The spell
maybe
doesn't.
they're just like in a weird connection space.
Maybe the
Not like that. I would have been different.
Well,
There isn't-
try your fiance.
Alright. And I'll try going in again.
Cool. Oh wow, she failed her save. You go look in on Lucian's, who you thought of as Lucian's fiance. Luckily, you have an image in your mind of who you're talking about.
Yeah.
You see this burly tiefling woman beating the shit out of these two like older elves and like
Oh.
throwing them to the ground and having them chained, and it's just like, well, looks like you're not the owners of an airship anymore. And slides over. There's a white Vertibax who gets really close. It's like, what are you doing? We can't. Fuck off. We're taking it. We're fucking pirates.
Huh.
What do you think you're here for?
I'm a pirate.
And it's just like, we shouldn't kill them. I mean, you threw the body of their dead child at their feet. He's not enough. Like, we'll leave them with a rowboat. See if they can get back to shore. It's like, it's a week's travel. It's like, it's what we can spare. And then, like, walks away. And you watch as she walks out into open air, up some kind of well-supported gangplank up onto a ship. You catch the edges of being above some clouds as she's getting onto the deck of the ship with a very self-satisfied look on her face, and seems to be taking control of some kind of airship after making her way through whatever defenses were had by Lucien's parents. Doesn't seem to have killed them yet, and appears to not going to, but is going to leave them essentially stranded on this island with a rowboat. And as you watch for a good 10 minutes or so, crew come up, and she starts delegating who's going to be on the sea ship and who's going to be coming on the airship. There's a few crew of the airship who come up. One in particular shakes her hand and is just like, Stardust will be pleased. And then you get to the edge of the spell's duration and come out of it.
Oh shit! Yeah. So that was a lot.
Shiro's going to get up and pour everyone some wine.
I describe what I saw.
Lucian's.
Yeah, she's gone. Probably before
I need
left.
I need some air. I'm gonna get up, and I'm gonna slowly walk out. And when I'm down the street, I'm gonna book it back to our cabin and throw up a couple times.
Gonna probably stop a couple times on the way.
Robbie's just like,
Yep. And then I'm
Robbie's just quiet.
gonna start packing my shit.
God damn it.
For once, Robbie doesn't have anything to say.
Shiro's just gonna push a wine glass into his hands. Yeah. Sounds like you all cared about her a lot.
Yeah.
Would you like a drink? And Shiro offers a drink to Sanari.
She's just going to look at it. Not drink it.
Okay.
It's like stardust keeps popping up.
Yes, really seems to be the root of everyone's problems. You
Sure.
know,
Sorry.
no. Oh, you go.
Okay. Shiro, you remember in the last week, these little shithead Thieves Guild folk who are wanting, talking to you about Stardust has an organization, the light that she brings, the security, the regular income. These things, without anyone who's been in adventuring circles, might sound appealing. You know these things, especially from Thieves Guild folk, come with a tie-in. The bringing in of flour from the immediate surrounding areas being outsourced to farmlands beyond the mountains give a perfect opportunity for someone to smuggle things through the mountain pass of the Dwarven Kingdoms, down through the other free cities, not heavily inspected by the Elven guards, all the way out here to the coast, and then hand it off. And, coin could be handed off, people would be, palms would be greased, a regular supply of coin, no matter what the business trends of your area. But you have no interest in being subservient to some random jackass in a mountain. It's just like, what?
Got the bakery.
It's you built this bakery. It wasn't, if you really think about it, it wasn't fully to code. Like, there's the room where the flour's stored is a little close to the open flame, And it's like if somebody like spilled a bag, the dust in the air would probably catch and maybe blow up the whole place. But hasn't happened yet. You keep control of it a little bit. Um, Threats were made. I imagine one or two people got punched in the face and thrown out, and then the next day, a spark from somewhere came in, and the whole place went up before the person delivered a message before disappearing.
I don't know. In the years since I was an adventurer, I've learned a lot of things. Like how a lot of life's problems can't be solved with strength and a hammer. This, however, seems like a big exception to that. I feel like a big hammer would be the perfect solution to this problem.
A hammer to the face
I hope so.
solves most of Shiro's problems.
Not nowadays, but back then, yeah.
Charlie, you have your stuff packed.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna get my dog. I'm gonna start heading out. But once I hit the gate,
Okay.
I figure that they're gonna go without me. I'll go back.
Get your
We can
stuff
fight
all the way back
hard.
through town, and then back over, and then there's almost like Goodest Boy pauses at the gate and looks up at you like, "Are you sure?" And then you make the decision to turn back around. There's a glint off in the corner of your eye. You go to look and it's gone, but you feel just a sense of approval.
Guy mom.
Yeah, fuck you.
Well, that's rude.
Fuck Moon.
Fuck you, Moon.
Good night, Moon. Adjusted.
Good night, Moon. Adjusted for chicanery.
Yeah, I'll head back.
Is that church's religious text?
Good night, Moon.
So you right as everybody kind of goes, wait, Charlie's been gone for hours. And then y'all like, and then you kind of get out, but then you see Charlie just geared up on Goodest Boy in the alley, just like waiting for all of you.
Up.
Well,
You guys are gonna go follow her anyway, aren't you?
well,
I am.
I have a friend to avenge.
Well, you not gonna survive any of that without me, I guess.
I mean, I could
Or
use the
whatever.
help, but
Would be fine. Yeah. Seem like a good person.
glad you're staying.
Big other lady, you're wrong. Ravi. Yeah, fuck you.
Someone who wasn't a good person would have just left.
I was right at the gate.
But
I
you
was
didn't
like
leave.
right there.
I imagined.
But the important thing is that you didn't leave.
Hey,
Good
all of
point.
you.
You love me. Ah! I bumped my desk.
All right.
Everything shook.
Why
The
are you touching my desk?
The crew assembled. Provisions to be gathered. People to be rounding up their supplies and abilities and gear and gearing up to head out into adventure once more. sometime for a while for one of you, and
Right.
ready to smash some face.
I assume we're not waiting for the flying ship then.
You don't think it's gonna come back for you, except if it wanted to like kill you, but they probably would have done that earlier.
presume
With
not.
Ratty. You do make some mental connections of like, well, if they were trying to do smuggling operations, a lot easier smuggling operation is just flying over everybody.
Yeah.
If you have an airship.
It's one of those like, how are we going to get these illegal goods over these well law enforced lands? Be like, fly? Be like,
Air
forgot
zones
about
don't exist
airplanes.
yet.
Right.
What's with the like 1950s like broadcaster voice?
Yeah. It's because it's like
1950.
because it's like a dirigible. It's like a blimp.
That was my my favorite and most frustrating thing to talk about politically in 2016 was people were like, building the wall. I'm like, airplanes exist.
Will not stop anything.
I was just like,
Yeah.
but yeah. We're gonna call it till next week. It looks like Razzie popped by in the chat. I guess glad you're feeling better. Coming back from a medical issue or something, I suppose. Doesn't seem to want to talk in depth about it, but glad you're. I hope you're better. I
Oh,
hope you're
so
doing
glad you're alive.
Yeah, glad you. Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Kinda-
were
miss
super
you.
worried
Yeah.
about you.
We were so worried.
Right? Yeah, I imagine life and complications and stuff. But yeah.
Understandable.
Bye.
Glad you're good. But yeah, I hope you're doing well. But yeah, we'll be back next weekend. Next Friday, and we'll head out.
Remember your
for
fingering?
now. Remember fingering.
Fingering.
We forgot a couple times tonight, but you know, stuff's going on. Chris, hope you're feeling better next week.
Haha.
We hope we don't have to call
Vertigo, no.
into my contact of Dr. Monkey on occasion, and we'll
Or monkey.
we'll sign out while I tell an embarrassing story. So
Oh no.
see people next week.
Bye.